Salvete omnes, welcome to this audio video lesson on Fabulae Syrae 32. We're looking at the second section of 32 on Arachne, and today we're picking up at line 83. Dum talia dicit, dea subito annus formam asse removit. So while she was saying such things, notice that dicit is present tense, but the doom clause we translate it past because the main verb removit is past. It's a perfect tense verb. While she was saying such things, the goddess, Dea, suddenly, subito, removed the form of an old woman, removit formam annus, from herself, asse, et se claram et armis lucentem ostendit, and she showed herself bright and gleaming in arms. Nymphae quae ibi aderant, the nymphs who were there, perteritae fugerunt, frightened ran away. Timentes ne ipsae a dea irata poena afficerentur, fearing that they themselves, ipsae, would be afflicted, afficerentur, by punishment by the angry goddess. Poena a dea irata. So the ne clause here is a fear clause. Usually those start with a ne, and then you have the subjunctive verb here, afficerentur. At Arachne nihil temuit, but Arachne feared nothing. Videamus inquit. Let's see, she says, utra nostrum melior sit. Which of the two of us is better? So uter, utra, utrum is which of the two, kind of like alter, altera, alterum is the one or the other of two. Dexter is the right hand, sinister the left hand adjective. So essentially these ter words or tra words have to do with two alternations. So which of the two of us is better? The sit here is present subjunctive because we're in an indirect question. Tu illam vestim ego hanc aku pingamus. Okay, so pingamus is a we form verb, present subjunctive. Let's depict, let's decorate. But then notice you split up the subjects, the tu, you, singular, and then the ego, I. You plus I equals we. That's why pingamus is a we form. So let's decorate cloth. You, that cloth, illam vestem. I, this cloth, ego hanc. Aku, with a needle, ablative case. So again, they seem to be embroidering in this. The normal version of the myth is they're weaving, but in this version it's a little different. Tu ipsa sentias opera mea, you yourself will sense my works, multo meliora et pulchriora tuis esse, are much better, multo meliora, and more beautiful, pulchriora, than yours, tuis. Now, he might have written quam tua, than yours, but if you drop out the quam meaning than, you can just put this second word being compared into the ablative case. It's called the ablative of comparison, and that's what tuis is here. So we say than yours. Nisi forte temes, unless perhaps you fear, ne me cum te compares, that you should compare yourself with me. Or we might just say to compare yourself with me. Now notice the ne clause with compares, present subjunctive. That is, again, a fear clause. Minerva vero imprudenter facis ait. Minerva says, ait is a synonym for inquit and dicit. Minerva says, you are acting imprudently, you are acting foolishly. Quod cum dea certare vis, because when you want vis to compete, certare, with the goddess, nequescio quae superbius tibi suaseret, and I don't know what haughtiness, quae superbia, has persuaded you. Suaseret, notice with the eri, is a perfect subjunctive. Ut hoc faceres, that you should do this. That's a noun clause of result. Essentially, that ut clause there acts as the direct object of the verb of persuading here. If you persuade or ask or command or advise that somebody do something, the ut clause will just act as a noun, the sort of direct object of that verb. So we call that a substantive clause of result or a noun clause of result. Poinam tui sceleres sinties. You will sense, sinties, a punishment of your crime, literally, tui sceleres, that's an objective genitive. We often like to translate those with for in English. You will sense, you will feel a punishment for your crime. Utinam post hoc deos verere discas. Utinam indicates you've got a subjunctive wish clause. Discas is present subjunctive. I wish that you would learn to fear verere, the gods, deos, after this, post hoc. Sine mora, without delay, inter se certare coiperunt. They began, coiperunt, to compete, certare, between themselves. Minerva deorum res gestas acu pinxit. Minerva, or Athena, depicted, pinxit, the deeds, the affairs, the things done. Literally, res gestas are things done, things managed. We could just translate it as deeds. The deeds of the gods, aku, with her needle. Praeter keteros, in addition to the rest, the other pictures or images, I think, ante oculos apparebat Jovis regis imago, the image of King Jove or King Jupiter, that's of course just Zeus there, appeared before, we could say before their eyes, before your eyes. Apud quem, with whom, that is with Jupiter, Minerva Neptunum stantem fecit, Minerva made Neptune standing. Qui tridentem manu gerebat, who carried, gerebat, the trident in his hand. Carry, bore, wore, those are all kind of ways we can translate gerebat. You can also translate it as manage. It can mean a lot of different things. If it were taking clothing, you'd translate it as wear. Since it's his trident here, we would say carried, the trident in his hand. Dende se ipsum, then her herself. That is to say, then she depicted her herself. Indutam clipio, equipped with a shield. Indutus aum, that adjective essentially means clothed in or equipped with, something like that. So, equipped with a shield here. Et acutam hastam gestantem, and carrying a sharp spear. Gesto gestare is just a frequentive form of gero gerere, so it essentially means the same thing. And wielding, carrying a sharp spear. Multosque oleos deos pinxit, and she depicted many other gods. Diligenter tandem curavit, at last, in the end, she took care, carefully, diligently, ut extremas vestis oras, olearum foliis ornaret, that she decorate, ornaret, the outside edges, extremas oras, of the cloth, vestis, with the leaves of olive trees, foliis olearum. Now, of course, this is because Minerva is Athena, right? Same person, and Athena, her favored tree is the olive tree. Arachne vero primum imaginibus illustrat. Arachne, however, first illustrates or depicts with images quo modo Europa apud maris litus tauro erepta sit. How Europa was seized, was snatched away by a bull, Tauro, near the shore of the sea, apud litus maris. Verus Taurus, verae maris undae esse videbantur. True or real, the bull seemed to be. True or real, the waves of the sea seemed to be. So one thing to point out here, verus aum, the adjective meaning true, occasionally it will sound better and be, the better way to do it, to translate it as real in English. Europa ipsa e dorso terri in mare natantis stera spectans relictas atque suas amicas quae in litere manserant in vocans et abiis auxilium petens cernitur. Okay, so long sentence here. You've got Europa ipsa, Europa herself, and way at the end of that you get the main verb cernitur, is seen. So Europa herself is seen, okay, and then we have all this description of how she is seen. So backing up, spectans, looking, e dorsotari in mare natantis, looking from the back of a bull swimming in the sea at the lands left behind, terras relictas, and calling, atque in vocans, on her friends, suas amicas, and notice they're girlfriends, quae in litere manserat, who had remained on the shore, et petens, and seeking, auxilium ab eis, help from them. Okay, so this is what's seen. Now, of course, this is the rape of Europa, where Zeus in bull form snatches her away. Diceres vocem eius audire posse. You would say that her voice could be heard. Now, that is a potential subjunctive there, the diceres. That is subjunctive. Sometimes will show a possibility. You would, you might say that her voice could be heard. Dende multas alias fabulas pinxit. Then she depicted many other stories. Tum foibum et bacchum, deneque extremum vestis partem, pulcherimis floribus ornavit. Then Phoebus and Bacchus. Okay, so the last ones that she depicted were some kind of story of Phoebus, maybe Apollo and Daphne, because Phoebus, of course, is just another name for Apollo. And then it says, and Bacchus, and who knows what story she told about Bacchus, but there are a lot of them where he makes people crazy and they do awful things, so probably something like that. Like, for example, let's see, Pentheus, who he goes crazy and his ants go crazy and his ants tear him to shreds. His ants just, rip his body to pieces. So that would be a great one to tell of Bacchus and how awful he is. But in any case, all of these stories that she depicted were all awful things that the gods did. So, picking up there. And then notice that she has the flowers around the edges, just like Athena did the olive leaves. Operibus perfectis, with the works completed, Minerva ipsa, Minerva herself, quae laborem ab Arachne factum mirabatur, who wondered, mirabatur, at the work done by Arachne. Valde dubitavit, very much doubted or hesitated, was unsure, an vestis quam ipsa confecerat, pulchrior esset, quam vestis ab Arachne tanta arte picta, whether the garment or the cloth vestis which she herself had made, quam ipsa confecerat, was prettier, pulchrior esset, than the cloth depicted by Arachne with such skill. Plane enim intelligebatur, Arachnein melius opus fecisse, for plainly it was understood that Arachne had made, fecisse, a better work, melius opus, pulchrioresque imagines pinxisse, and that she had depicted more beautiful pictures or images. Tunc Arachne, then Arachne says, understood, as the inquit later on, nonne me meniste quid modo dixerem, don't you remember what I just now said? Tam certa sum, so certain am I, me peritissimam artis pinguinde esse, ut non temeam ne vincar a te, quamquam dea es. I'm so certain that I am the most accomplished, the most experienced, or maybe skilled in the art of depicting things, right? We could call it embroidering here. That I don't fear, ut non temeam, that I would be conquered by you. Here's another fear clause, ne winkar ate, although you are a goddess. Ne tamen desperaveris, yet don't you despair. A nice perfect subjunctive in that negative command there. Et si tam pulcre vestim pinxi, even if I have depicted, embroidered the cloth so beautifully, tam pulcre, ut omnibus, that to everyone, meam artem meliorem tua esse demonstraverem, I have demonstrated that my skill is better than yours, tamen tu quoque satis bonum opus confecisti. You can hear the disdain. Nevertheless, you too made a quite good work, a good enough work, satis bonum. Cum praeterea omnes nymphae quae opera spectatum convenerant, when, moreover, all the nymphs who had come together to look at, spectatum is a supine and accusative supine purpose, to look at the works, opera, Arachnes opus admirarentur, when all the nymphs who had come together were admiring Arachne's work, admirarentur opus Arachnes, and were praising it, atque laudarent, Minerva tam valde illi femina invedire coipet, Minerva began to envy, invedire, dere, that woman, illi feminae, invedere takes a dative for the person that you feel envy or ill will towards. So that's why illi feminae is dated. To envy her so very much, tam valde. Ut iram retinere noniam possit, that, and here's our result clause, that she could not longer, or no longer, she could not now hold back or retain, that is, withstand, her anger, iram. Iratissima igitur, therefore, very angry, ter quaterque eius frontem percussit. 3 times and 4 times she struck her forehead. Quam injuriam cum Arachne aequo animo pati non posset. When Arachne could not endure this injury, or which injury, injustice, with an even mind, aequo animo, primum lacrimans in locum fugit, at first crying she fled into a place, quo nemenim se consequi posse putabat, whether she thought no one could follow her, catch up with her, dende laqueo mortem sibi ipsa conscivit. Then she, literally this means something like she conspired death for herself with a noose. Now this is essentially the way you say somebody committed suicide in Latin. She thought up for herself death, and then the laqueo with a noose. She hung herself essentially. This is what I don't like about this myth. It doesn't make sense if you look at the whole myth and the way Arachne is so bold. Why in the heck would she hang herself? She is not the sort of person to do this. Anyhow, clearly the gods are unfair, and maybe she just did it to prove a point of how unfair they are. At Minerva, but Minerva, eam inventam, et invitam reductam herbae cuiustam suco aspersit. But Minerva splattered her, aspersit eam, inventam, having been discovered, et invitam reductum, and returned into life, suco, with the juice, herbae cuiustam, of a certain herb. So here is where I think maybe Minerva's feeling bad, right? She was sitting there like banging herself in the forehead over and over. Why didn't she just say, Arachne, you won, right? And then Arachne wouldn't have committed suicide. I guess that's what the thing is. It's weird. This is a strange way for the story to end, I think. Quo factum est, whereby it happened, or by means of which it happened, ut totum eius corpus parvum fierit, that her whole body became small, or was made small. In utroque latere, on each side, octo gracilia cura aperoerunt. 8 graceful limbs appeared. Now, I think this just means that there are 8 limbs that appeared, and they were, of course, on each side of it. 4 of them on one and 4 on the other. It's a little bit unclear in the Latin. They should have written that a bit better. Ex vintrevero, but from the belly, iam ab illo tempore stamen emitted. Now, from that very time, a thread emits or comes out. It emits a thread. She emits a thread. I don't know. I guess we could say she, meaning Arachne. Arania enim, and she was made a spider. Arania means spider and spider web. I should explain about Latin. So Arania enim facta, for having been made a spider. Ut antea, as earlier, etiam nunc telas texit, even now she weaves webs. And this is where the part comes in like, well, why wasn't it about weaving? Because she could have woven those designs. But instead, in this story, she was embroidering. So, again, in the normal version, she's weaving, so I'm not sure why they chose to do the embroidery here. Maybe just so that we could get some, get the acus word in there, the word for needle, which is a 4th declension word. Anyhow, I hope that made sense. I hope you learned a few things from that. And we can see here in the picture, Minerva Arachne in Arania mutat. Minerva turns Arachne into a spider. And again, Arania is spider and spider web in Latin. Okay. Valete omnes curate vos.